We will tell you to fix your gut. We will tell you to fast. We will tell you to actually avoid friends who will cause you problems. But you avoid those friends and you still adapt new friends. Have you seen how alcoholics behave? They come into a new area today, they've left their friends. And in that new area, give them about 24 hours. They know the new joint of drinking alcohol. They know the cheapest place to get alcohol. Look at somebody who smokes cigarettes. Do you think he doesn't know what to do? He only needs to tap somebody's shoulder who is smoking like him. And that guy just puffs in the last smoke and passes it to him without even knowing who did that. So they have a language and it's universal. And the more you resist the addictions, the more you sink. So anytime you're doing that, anytime you're getting involved in that act, one, do not form an opinion of it. Because when you form an opinion, that's where guilt comes in. And guilt is actually you passing judgment on yourself. And as you pass judgment on yourself, that is now sin. Anytime you're doing that act, be aware that I'm doing this. Do not struggle. Do it, but be aware that I'm doing this. That's where healing starts from. When you are aware of doing it and you've accepted it by accepting the truth, start by fixing the identity. Pole pole. Go and fix the identity from your mother, pick it back, go back to the Father. And you cannot return to the Father without an identity. So you must go back by forgiving those who you resent. Apparently, the first one on the list has to be your mother, because she puts her nature in you by trying to remodel you and turn you against the Father because she wants the attention from the Father. So it's a natural thing. And I hope that one day we get to understand this. We get to take it serious, because when you forgive your mother, there's something that actually offloads out of you. And you feel so good about it, because now you have taken the identity of the Father, and the Father is the creator. So your earthly father, the biological father, is the earthly representation of God. Therefore, you cannot claim to love God unless you love the one that you're seeing. And then somebody will ask me, what if my father is a bad person? How would you know bad and good when you don't have an identity? How? That is one. Number two, if you forgive your mother and you forgive your father, you are not going to pick his traits, because God sees the struggle. What you're going to have is an identity of your own. Okay, you will have the nature of the creator inside you, and then the creator will use that identity to actually reveal things to you, and you will realize that nothing is new. The religious bimbos, they will tell you, God spoke to me. God spoke to me about this. Religious leaders will tell you, God spoke to me about this. God told me about your future. God told me, God told me, God told me, blah, 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 blah. God does not speak to people. He doesn't. God reveals things to people through their own identity. So therefore, there's no way God will talk to a pastor about your life and your future. No way. Wongo. Wongo. So stop being gullible. You have a false identity, and that's identity that is being used. You sit in that church every Sunday with the wrong idea of spirituality. Some of you don't even read these books. You go there and somebody interprets these books to you, and you have never taken a chance to read. You believe it, and you come back saying, oh, I feel good about the service today. You don't feel good about the service today. You feel good about somebody selling you hope. Little did you know that some of these pastors are actually suffering from addictions. They are masturbating, and then on Saturday evening and on Sunday morning, they are putting the same hand they used to masturbate on your head to pray for masturbation to come out of you. You've seen pastors from most churches raping children, right? You've seen them sodomizing children. They sodomize these children in the dark, and in the morning they are there laying their hands on you to tell you how you can walk out of sodomy, how you can walk out of this evil nature of yourself. They can't help you. And that's why when you're suffering, endure the suffering, men and women. When you're suffering, endure the suffering, endure the addiction, so that you can easily die from that addiction and come back to live. Anytime you tell somebody that I'm suffering, I want you to see what is happening in Kenya. There is a celebrity, and I believe he's live now. There's a celebrity who is actually portraying himself as somebody who is coming in to help men who have mental health issues in men. He even organized a walk for mental health issues in men. And now he makes men feel good because, there's somebody who cares about us. He doesn't care about any man. What he does is he's there for his own selfish interest. He's so evil. But we don't see it. We think that he's here trying to help men. Oh, at least there's somebody for men. He's receiving funding for these things. And now look at him trying to take all these men who have fallen short of the glory of God, trying to take them into rehabs all through. He's taking everybody from everywhere. I'm glad that the other one resisted that. He's taking everybody from everywhere, taking them into rehab. And we talked about rehab, right? So you take a drunkard into a rehab center to make them look better. And then they get here and they realize, oh, there's another drunkard who is even worse than me. So he sticks there, hoping that he'll become brighter in a class of fools. Imagine that. And now, if it was actually him helping these gentlemen, he would actually be teaching them about God. But he's taking them into rehabs and he's doing everything on live, publicly, so that you guys get to approve him. That, oh, this one is godly sent. This one is heavenly sent. He is not. Remove the selfish interest out of it. You realize he doesn't care about anybody. But who are we? Very gullible. Oh, because of the emotions that are in us. All we harbor inside us is anger, is emotions, is zero identity or multiple identities. And then we allow these people, because they are our favorite celebrities, we allow them to control us. Whatever they do, we follow like fools. And that's why today they'll market to you drug abuse. Tomorrow they're marketing you vasectomy. Then the next day they are marketing shambas. The next day they're marketing vehicles. They are here for the paper. And you're thinking they care about you. You must fix yourself. And that's why if you're suffering, don't ever bother sharing these things to people, because those people that you're sharing, they have their own problems. That is one. And number two, you've created content for them. Content for them. Nowadays, the phone is your worst enemy. Oh, Dr. Lewis was found in a ditch. He was so drunk. I am trending. Oh, Dr. Lewis said this about this doctor. We are all trending because of the evil nature of us. We are now having a beef online. And then you guys are celebrating it. Because all of you have no identities. You are just full of evil nature. The spirit inside you does not allow you to be a good person. It is actually a home for Satan. So be very careful as you do these things. Look at it in an upper way. And by the way, you cannot know what is happening without having an identity. You can't, because that identity is what God will use to reveal things to you. When he reveals things to you, now you will realize all these things have been there all through. It's not like your drug addiction now is new. It's not like your sex addiction is new. Even in Sodom and Gomorrah, these guys used to look at angels. They're like, this one I can actually masturbate with this one. I can actually go into these ones behind. It has been there. So these things are nothing is new. Please, everything that is happening in this world is none of your business. You are supposed to be somebody who is observational and without an opinion. That is when you realize you're getting deeper into this. You realize perfect peace by doing that. Simply watch and have no opinion. Because anytime you have an opinion, those are thoughts. That is the devil talking to you. Anytime your pastor says, oh, hallelujah, you know, God spoke to me. In which voice? Feminine or masculine? Sir, but you're angry, right? You've seen your favorite pastor being angry. Actually, pastors going against each other on TikTok. Imagine that. Pastors who are supposed to be our spiritual leaders going after each other's neck online. A pastor being involved in land grabbing. A pastor. He calls himself a prophet. And now he has to prophesy something to you. You've seen all these things happening. A doctor who is diabetic writing a prescription for somebody who is diabetic, right? And he wants you to believe that actually my therapy will help you work. Imagine that. Hey. Anything that is happening in this world is a spiritual battle. It will all turn down to good or evil, and you will never know the difference until you get that identity from your parents. You will never walk out of that addiction until you get your own identity, and through that identity, things will be revealed to you. Nobody will talk to you. God has a voiceless voice. God does not speak to people. He reveals things to you. But when he reveals this, by the way, when we turn ourselves away from God, we tend to forget our identity because we don't have any, right? When you miss out on that identity, guess what happens? You forget who you are, you forget your roots. And now when you come back to the Father, he restores back your identity, and then he reveals things to you. These are not new things. These are things that he's actually trying to remind you. These are things he's trying to remind you. And that's what our elder brother, who is Christ, came in to do, to remind us of who we are. And through that, we can easily go back to the Father, go back home. Once you are home, amazing, amazing, perfect peace. Now you'll have a revelation, you'll have the peace to love other people. But look at you trying to love people and all is failing and you blame them. Look at you trying to find satisfaction in people, in money, in sex, in alcohol. You're trying to find the joy. You are telling me that I cannot be happy without alcohol. I must drink on Friday so that I get the happiness. You're telling me that if this woman is not the woman that you want, you are empty. Some of them say, "Oh, woman of my dreams." Woman of your dreams. You're only supposed to love God. Seek the truth, and the rest shall be added unto you. So every time you're seeking or looking for money, every time you're looking for love, every time you're looking for satisfaction, it's not going to come. The more you look for it, the more it runs away from you. Why? Because the more you lose the battle of going back to the Father. So most of these addictions are nothing special. They're just lack of identities. Go and look at it cleanly. Everybody who masturbates constantly will tell you, after masturbation, I feel so guilty about it. Why do you feel guilty about it? Because you constantly keep on fighting it. And as you fight it, you lose the battle. Because you deny the truth, and denying the truth is you denying God. And as you deny God, you will never shine the brightness of God. You will keep on telling us, oh, Christ is the Son of God, but you tell us Christ is God. We are like, Christ is our brother. And all of us have the nature of God. Whatever Christ had, we can have it. We actually have it. It's only that we are so blinded to see it.